Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. The trailer has dropped. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Okay, I have a lot to say. On the one hand, there's a lot of good in this trailer. A lot. It's very respectful of the history of the Ghostbusters. It includes Peck, who you will remember from the first movie, the bureaucrat. I don't know who he is now. He might be the mayor, which would make sense. All the original Ghostbusters, surviving Ghostbusters, I should say, are in it, including Annie Potts. There she is. Although they did give her, funny enough, they've incorporated a lot of the stuff from the cartoon, including, and this was a big point in the cartoon, because I had friends who actually got to, they didn't end up getting hired, but they auditioned to write for the Ghostbusters cartoon back in the 80s. And one of the things they did, they said Annie Potts' character was too harsh. And so when they shot the first pilot and watched the pilot of the Ghostbusters cartoon, it's just like the movie. I mean, it's like spot on. All the characters are spot on, everything. And, but when they did the testing, and this is how they ruin shows, this is how they ruin a great show. Like, the testing can fix a show that's absolutely horrible. It can make it kind of watchable, or a movie. But what testing does to a good product is it ruins it. It dumbs it down, makes it mediocre, and I think that's exactly what happened. Now, the cartoon's okay. I mean, I like the cartoon for the most part, but these extra things they did made it so it wasn't great. It was just good. So this was one of the main things. Annie Potts' character didn't test well with the kids because she had a nasally voice, sharp librarian glasses, and she didn't test well. So what they did was they softened her, and they gave her round glasses and softened her voice. I think they got a completely different actress to voice. I mean, Annie Potts wasn't the original voice, but they had someone who sounded like Annie Potts, and then they had someone who sounded a lot softer. Oh, hi, Egon, as opposed to Ghostbusters, which made it great. So, another thing they did on the cartoon, and again, they've said in the stuff about this movie that they incorporated a lot of the cartoon, was they made Slimer a friendly sort of sidekick. Initially, if you watch the pilot, Venkman's character is constantly picking on him, calling him Spud, calling him basically sort of like marginalizing. But Slimer tested so well with the kids, the people who ran the show said, "Oh no, we got to make Slimer more in the cartoon, and we got to treat him like a little brother. Like, everybody likes him, but the teasing can't be very harsh." So they softened Venkman's attitude towards Slimer. So I'm seeing a lot of that in this. Now, obviously, the new characters are in it, and they're more of the focus. But all the old characters are back. And, I gotta say, it looks pretty fun. There's a lot of ghosts in it. Here they're using a drone to catch a giant ghost fish for some reason. Slimer, of course, sliming Finn. There's a callback to the first movie. They didn't really give him a line, though. They should have given him a line like, "Nuts, they slime me, or "Why did he slime me?" or something. He just spits out the slime. I think he could have gotten a line. So is this going to be a good movie? I think it'll be fun-ish. Like, I think they decide to make it like a kid's movie. It's going to be harmless. I don't think it's going to have any edge whatsoever. So does that make it good? It'll be fun. I think people will like it. But I think the edge is gone. And I think the edge was there with the original movie. Oh, yeah. The original movie. I mean, think about the joke Venkman's character makes about Peck, right? There's that scene in the mayor's office, and Ackroyd's character says something like, Dickless here turned off our, whatever it was, the Matrix, the thing that was keeping all the ghosts. And the mayor says, is that true? And Venkman says, yes, this man has no dick. And then Peck gets mad. I think those kinds of jokes won't be in this movie. I mean, that was a little edgy for the time. I mean, it wasn't edgy at all. It was just funny. So I think they're focusing a little more on, you know, the family aspect of it. And the effects, and Paul Rudd. He has a different dynamic with the, what's her name? And even Bill Murray, you know, he feels a little subdued in this. But I mean, he's an older guy. I mean, how much energy can he muster for this? I don't know. But he may not want to overshadow his co-stars, who are really the focus of the movie. You know, it may be him just saying, well, you know, I'm going to step back, let these guys be the stars. But are they stars? Not in this trailer. I mean, they're there. There's cool stuff happening. But, you know, it's not... Other than Egon's granddaughter, who's got a little bit of personality, the rest of the characters are kind of almost interchangeable. I say, from the trailer. But this is part and parcel of what's happened in Hollywood for a long time. The characters aren't first and foremost. Ackroyd has more character because they show him in his occult shop, right? He's the one who gets the MacGuffin, whatever it's going to be, to start this whole mess. So, would I see it? Oh, sure. I'd totally say it. I still haven't seen the first one. I've just seen clips of it on YouTube. I wonder if it's on HBO Max yet, or one of the streaming service. I'm sure it is. So what's the plot? Well, hopefully it's a little bit different than Ghostbusters 1 or 2. I think so, but in some respects it's kind of going to be the same. March 22nd, by the way. Peck is probably going to be the bad guy, but for some reason they're going to go back to New York and restart the Ghostbusters. So, first act, I guess they go back. Maybe because, I don't know, there's some issue with the Egon's, you know, share of what was in the firehouse or whatever. Or maybe there's some sort of clue they find that leads them to go back to New York. Or maybe they start the entire thing, I forget where they are, and then have to go to New York because Ackroyd tells them, well, that's where we left all the tools or whatever. Or that there's an exhibit in New York. Something like that. So, whatever, they had to go back to New York. So, first act probably establishes the MacGuffin and the history a little bit. Second act begins when they get to New York. They start doing ghost-busting activities again. They restart the firehouse or whatever. And then they face, one of their obstacles is Peck, who says, no, we're going to shut you down. But, of course, as always, things get worse and worse and worse. Only the Ghostbusters can save New York. Here's a bunch of icicles shooting through the ground. It doesn't show anybody getting impaled. I wonder, that would be too harsh for the movie, right? Somebody getting impaled by one of these ice spikes? So then the old team is brought back together, and they're forced to confront the evil ice monster that's plaguing New York. And then the third act, there'll be some setbacks. They try to get some ghosts. They're fighting various ghosts at the same time. And then it's somewhere along the way. Here's Annie Post back in her role. And then somewhere along the way, they figure out the deal with the ice demon or whatever it is. And the Ghostbusters, being who they are the only guys left. So they go in and confront the giant ice demon using all their various resources and friends, including Slimer, and save the day. Possibly leading into Ghostbusters 3, or what would this be? This would be Ghostbusters 4? No, wait. This would be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this would be next one would be Ghostbusters 5, technically. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be very, very enjoyable, watchable, satisfying, because they are acknowledging the history. They've established some characters. I think they could do a better job of pushing the character angle a little more. Here's a dude who gets killed in the movie, I think. So yeah, I hope they keep it up. I would like to see the world, expand, if guys like this are going to continue to expand it. I just wish like Peck is a good choice to bring back. He's a good foil. The actor who plays him is amazing. He's such an evil jerk. All the young people, fine, I guess. I like the expansion of the characters, but I also want the expansion of the villains. I'd like to see somebody set up maybe for the next movie as being a villain or a constant foil. I mean, other than Peck, or someone like Peck who's, he's not in the bureaucracy, but for whatever reason he's against the Ghostbusters. I'm sure you could find one. The only downside of this I see is they're showing clips of the original movie, and that's something. It's a double-edged sword, right? So in the Marvel movies, when they did that, it was like they were trying to say, hey, remember this, member Barry, remember how good it was? Well, this is going to be just as good. I don't think they need to do that for this movie, but I understand why they're doing it. I totally 100% think they did it in the Marvels because they had nothing else to offer. They had nothing else to offer other than trying to tempt fans like, hey, this will be just as good. But this seems to have something else to offer. See, they're adding all this lore, which is fun. I like this lore. It's fun. Even if it's all made up. It's probably based after something, even if it's completely fictional. Yeah, Ernie Hudson's back, so he's looking good. Although they all look fat. I mean, I gotta say, they all look fat. But they're older guys. What are you gonna do? Another reason you probably shouldn't show the old footage of them, because then you see the new footage of them and you're like, whoa, Bill Murray's old, everybody's fat. It's tough for the new Ghostbusters to stand out when they're standing next to Bill Murray. I mean, in my view. Because Bill Murray's just the king of this, His one-liners in the original movie just carry the whole thing. He seems a little subdued in the trailer, so I hope maybe the rest of the movie kicks up his game, or somebody is the Bill Murray equivalent here. Somebody here is making those one-liners. Patton Oswalt's in it, and what's his face? I can't think of his name. This guy, Kumail. I forget his last name. They're both in it for some reason. I don't know if were they in the previous ones. I don't know. Those two guys, meh, I could do without them. I hope they're not part of the future of this franchise. Um, for the main characters, I think you need to pare it down a little bit. Um, Obviously, it's got to be these two and the kids, right? They're the new Ghostbusters. And then you got the old Ghostbusters that support them. The rest of the guys, they got to be like Peck. They got to have like one or two killer scenes and then they're out. So, I'm not seeing those killer scenes here, but they may be in the movie. They can only put so much in the trailer. The music's a little too epic. I would like to see a little something more funky, like the Ghostbusters theme, which Paul Rudd makes a joke about, which is weird because I don't know if did it exist in the movie? Did the Ghostbusters song exist in the movie, or was I think that was just the credits, but it's fine. I would like to see something like that, some song produced by an original artist for the Ghostbusters that would be funky and weird, and it would go along with the pattern of the movie itself, I think. So I think it'll be okay. At the very least, it'll be okay. I think that's the floor. They're doing the library ghost again for some reason. I'm not sure why. Hopefully they won't go back to the well too much. There seems to be enough new stuff in here. It's going to make it fun. There's Patton. I guess he's Dan Aykroyd's assistant. He looks older than Ackroyd for some reason. Ackroyd has dark hair and Patton has gray hair. So I think this can work. I think it can work. So, yeah. Oh, it's Sony, so it's not going to be on Warner Brothers. I wonder if they have what streaming service Sony movies go on. Let's see. No, right up here. Oh, wait. Here we go. In Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the Spengler family returns to where it all started, the iconic New York City firehouse, to team up with the original Ghostbusters, who developed a top-secret research lab to take busting ghosts to the next level. Yeah, I like that. But when the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. Directed by Gil Keenan, written by Gil Keenan and Jason Reitman. So, yeah, okay. Based on the 1984 Ghostbusters, an Ivan Reitman film by Ackroyd, written by Ackroyd and Ramis. I wish Ackroyd had gotten a writing credit. Why not let him pitch some jokes? I'm sure he did, but because I would trust Ackroyd writing the screenplay. Why wouldn't you get him? Yeah, there he is, Kumail Nanjiani. I can never remember his name. So, a lot of people in this thing. So I think I give it a cautious, optimistic yes. So, good, Ghostbusters. They're not going to have a repeat of 2016. Ugh. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say, take it. My next event isn't until February 6th at Comfort Care in North Cape May. And then after that, on the 10th, February 10th, I'll be doing I Love Horror Day. That's going to be a big one, horror fans, so make sure you're tuned in to that. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.